It's game week, baby. New York Jets, Cleveland Browns, Hall of Fame game. We've got a special guest here on Boy Green Daily. We're going to dive through all of it here on the program. Let's get this party started. Zoinks! It is unequivocally the Super Bowl for New York Jet fans.
Field Yates, baby. Field Gosh darn Yates. Let's bring him on the show.
Come on, people. Connor Rogers is joining the show. What's up, Connor? But Trevor Gosh darn Sycamore, baby, for me, personally, my favorite New York Jet of all time.
Wow, it's great to be on. What an intro that was right there.
Paul, nobody does an intro like you, man.
Paul, you give the best intro of literally any podcast that I've ever been.
I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas.
How do I eloquently put this? It's freaking game week, baby! New York Jets, Cleveland Browns, Hall of Fame game. Holy cannoli! And this is the start. Football this weekend and every weekend moving forward. It's friggin' fantastic. Everybody, my name is Paul Liston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show every morning at 7:30. And speaking of every, like some level of consistency, this guy, he's here. He's always here, right next to you, every Monday. Let's bring him in. Matt O'Leary. What's up, Matt? How are you?
I am doing fantastic. As you said, football is here. There's no better feeling in the world, Paul.
And I saw you were at practice with a bunch of Jet celebrities, kissing baby, signing autographs. That was very nice of you, Matt. Wow. What was practice like, especially with Dalvin Cook there? That had to be pretty crazy.
Yeah, it was a blast. I was there with Green Bean and Ryan from Jets Talk 24/7 and Richie from Jets Media. We all sat together. We took in practice, and man, the crowd was pretty amped up to see some Dalvin Cook, whether he was just walking into the facility or talking to Woody Johnson. All eyes were on Dalvin Cook yesterday. That's for sure.
I got to give a massive shout out to Richie from Jets Media. He takes the video of the Dalvin Trent and freaking goes wild. I saw it on NFL, Yahoo, everywhere else. So shout out to Richie on the viral video. That was so cool. So, Matt, I can't remember exactly where you were on the Cook thing, but did yesterday sway you even further one way or the other with all the energy of everybody involved?
Yeah, it didn't necessarily sway me, but it feels like it's going to get done. So whether you wanted it or not, like, I think you just have to come to that point where it's going to happen. To me, it feels like a matter of when, not if. He was at the facility seemingly all day yesterday. Doesn't have any more meetings on his slate. You had a New England meeting with Ezekiel Elliott, looking like they're going a different direction. I think it's really only a matter of time until he's a Jet.
All right. And when he is, if that does indeed happen, obviously we'll have a show about it. But today, what I wanted to talk about, for those who may have missed it, apparently a lot of people did. They're very confused by the poll of the day and theme. The Jets, and it makes sense, released their official depth chart heading into the first game so we can all kind of see what's going on. So let's overreact to this thing. And by the way, guys, if you'd like to see it, just click the link down below. You can follow and see all the details for this. I got to be honest, one of the immediate takeaways, although before I mention this, I just want to say Saleh confirmed that none of his starters are expected to play in this game. And quite frankly, maybe not in the entire preseason in general. If it happens, it'll be in that Giants game as a quote-unquote tune-up. But besides that, none of his starters will play, and then there are select veterans that won't even play in this one that may even be backup. So keep that in mind as we're going through this. But as I saw the unofficial one, Mekhi Becton on the bench. Now, he's going to get in no matter what, because it's not like any of these players that were in are going to be in the whole game. But that was one immediate takeaway, but I guess it kind of makes sense since he's had some level of limited practice so far.
Yeah, I think they're kind of just trying to work him back slowly. And it's really not all that surprising based on, we've seen a ton of Billy Turner and Max Mitchell running with the ones yesterday. We saw Mekhi Becton was running with the twos at left tackle. And, maybe eventually he wins that starting job this offseason. But I think right now, where he is in terms of, the level of which he was able to practice so far and just where he is in the recovery, it really not crazy surprising to see him listed as a 2 right now.
No, and I think that's a very the thing I love about you, Matt, is you're so measured that I'm
try.
just like screaming over here and saying all kinds of made up words, probably like kerfluffle, and I'm throwing my hands all over, a lot of hand motion. You just kind of do like a head nod, like you're on a Sports Center hit. And then you're like, okay, so here's what's really going on. I just love that about you, Matt. You're so measured, so calculated. I think that really revs people's engines. I just have to say that right off the top.
Well, there we go.
Right off
That's
the
why we
top.
balance each other out so well. It's like, you know,
I see.
it's a
That
good
makes sense.
combo. I like it.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the offensive tackle position, a quick detour off the depth chart. This is what Robert Saleh said yesterday about Dwayne Brown. He was asked about Dwayne Brown, naturally. He said he's coming along, and he did not have a timetable for his return, but he did say, quote, "We're expecting him back at some point." Now, I'm going to be honest. That was the least encouraging thing I think I've ever heard in my life. But the good news is yesterday and still today, it's July. And the last time I checked, the Jets don't play until September 11th. So I'm not worried yet. But that was the most least. If my dad said, we're expecting my son back at some point, I don't know how I would feel about it. But to this point, again, I'm not worried. No worry from you.
No, not at this point. As you said, it's still early. And he's recovering from a surgery, so I don't know how much they really want him to play in the preseason anyway, or how much, ramp up he really needs in training camp at this point in his career. So at this point, not concerned. If it's 3 weeks from now and he's still not practicing, that's very much so a different story. And the some point is so vague. I'm with you. Like, what the hell does that mean? At some point, is that like next week or is that September? What are we talking here?
Also, he has to know, like, come on, that like how he says things and what he says will be interpreted because he paused. I know you can't see it when it's like written out, but when he'll be back and then kind of did like a shoulder shrug at some point and then almost smiled. And I'm like, what does that mean, man? Come on, I'm fans here. I'm biting my fingernails off. Here's another one, okay? Because we're just in this Robert Saleh presser world now as I'm going back through this. So did Robert Saleh slip up? I don't know if you saw this, Matt, but during the press conference, okay, he was asked about the running back room. And he said, well, there's a pretty good competition for that third spot. And I immediately go, zoinks? Third spot? What about the second spot? And then he quickly goes, I mean the 2 and the 3. Perhaps suggesting, again, I may be reading too much into this, but perhaps suggesting, well, the 2 spots are already taken up by some guy that's visiting our facility right now. So did we overreact? Because again, Matt, you're just and then you're about to give it to us straight. Are we reading too much into it? Did he have a slip up of some kind? What say you?
No, I think it was a slip up. I'm leaning into this. I like this one, Paul. I think that he was there all day. It's only a matter of time. Tony Richardson, former Jet, was out there making declarative statements that he is going to be a New York Jet. He has his inside sources. So, like, all right, let's do it. At this point, I think you're going to see the contract eventually. I think this really does get done. And that would be the case because then you're fighting for who's RB3 and who's RB4, and someone's going to be the odd man out of this bunch. So you're going to have to figure that out. But I agree. I think Dalvin Cook is going to be here, and I think that was a slip of the tongue.
Gonna be honest, Matt, did not have, there's a lot of training camp position battles that we're going to talk about here on the show. One of them I did not have on the bingo card was Tony Richardson and Adam Schefter for top NFL insider. Did not have that on the bingo card. Gonna be blunt, but hey, you know what? Surprises hit us every year. Oh, yeah, so we'll keep an eye on Tony Richardson. That'd be amazing. Let's jump back to the depth chart here. And obviously, Aaron Rodgers is QB1, but again, he is not going to play in the preseason. I would be incredibly surprised if he does play. But what we did get confirmation was Zach Wilson will. Now, if you guys have been paying attention throughout the week, Zach Rosenblatt said that on his podcast, the Can't Wait podcast, The Athletic, great stuff, that he was skeptical that Zach Wilson would play. And this was his opinion of like, I don't know, there'll be backup offensive linemen out there probably. And then Rich Cimini said something similar in his Sunday morning column. And I'm like, what are we talking about here, people? And he did confirm that Zach Wilson will play because I think he needs all the reps he could get because obviously, if everything goes the way it's supposed to go, he will not be playing in the regular season, obviously, because you have Aaron Rodgers. So, yeah, that is confirmed. Zach Wilson will, in fact, play. Again, same kind of assessment there, Matt, on ZW?
Yeah, he's got to play. So I was with you. I was a little confused hearing that earlier in the week. I didn't really necessarily care that he might have to go in front of a backup offensive line. He's running with, excuse me, he's running with the twos, so if you get the two offensive line, that it is what it is. But he, as you said, he needs all the reps that he could get at this point, and we want to see if he could be QB2 for this team and how much he's improved, if any, from last year. So, yeah, I'm excited to watch him actually on Thursday.
Yeah, I don't have the Mark Sanchez vibes of the Snoopy Bowl playing behind the battered offensive line that Rex Ryan. Like, I don't view this as the same situation, and then he gets hurt, and then Jets get dunked on. Like, again, I don't want Zach Wilson to get hurt. That's not what I'm saying. But like, we're basically saying that, well, the starting offensive line isn't going to be out there. It's less than ideal. Well, okay. Things happen in our lives, Matt, that are less than ideal. And sometimes we're going to suck it up, pull up the bootstraps, and let's friggin' go. So, again, I'm glad they're doing that because also, since we're both going to be there, which more on that later, but we're both going to be there on Thursday, I'd much rather see Zach Wilson, no offense to the other guys, because I just want to see it in person and go through there, which leads us to our poll of the day question. Let's throw this up. This is in the link down below, everybody, so go ahead and click it and vote. Is this: which Jets player are you more intrigued to see on Thursday versus the Browns in the Hall of Fame game? Mekhi Becton or Zach Wilson? This poll's been going back and forth since last night. Currently, Mekhi Becton is barely edging it out at 53% to Zach Wilson. Matt, you answer the question. Gun to your head right now. What's your answer?
So this is funny because this morning when I woke up, I saw the poll and I initially voted Zach Wilson, but now I want to change my answer to Mekhi Becton.
Really?
Which is, I guess, fitting that the poll is so close between Mekhi Becton and Zach Wilson. And the reason why I'm ended up switching here and going with Mekhi is because he has a chance to be a starter for this team, where Zach Wilson does not. Like, that he has, more than likely is going to be QB2 unless something catastrophic happens or he's traded. But Mekhi Becton, there is an outside chance that he is a starter for this team. So I want to see how far he's progressed, and I want to see that for both of these guys. But there's a chance Mekhi, as we said, he could be the starting right tackle. So I think it's more important to keep a closer eye on him.
Well, it's always great. It's good for business when these are close. When it's a blowout, now nobody wants to see that. You just don't want to see that. So the fact that it's close, pat yourself on the back, Paul. Nice job on that poll, pal. Phenomenal. So I was going to go the opposite way of you, no matter what, because I'm intrigued by both. To your point, Mekhi Becton hasn't played basically in 2 years, so seeing him on the preseason practice field is going to be terrific and spectacular, and he is legitimately competing. But I'll go Zach Wilson because, again, I'm not expecting him to be a la Aaron Rodgers, but the last time we saw him, he was cast aside in a primetime game for Chris Streveler, who couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. I mean, we went from number 2 overall pick to guy who's just kind of roaming around the streets, looking for loose quarterback change. I mean, honestly. So now he gets his complete reset months behind the scenes. I love seeing Aaron Rodgers coaching him up in practice, and now he's going to get his chance, and I would assume start in this game on Thursday, although that has not been confirmed yet, nor have any of the starters. I mentioned Mekhi Becton is, quote unquote, a backup on the unofficial depth. Maybe they don't play Billy Turner. Again, select veterans apparently will not play, so we'll have to keep an eye on what that ultimately means when we get a little bit closer here. But I'm intrigued to see Zach Wilson. What change? Is he going to be able to get past the yips, which is, this quarterback, disease that he can't just do the basic things that he's supposed to do. So I'm curious because I've seen a swag from him. I don't know if you've seen it, Matt. Obviously you've been at some of these practices, so you could tell us, but the no-look passes, the having fun, the Aaron Rodgers, every time he's going through a drill, just walking over him and saying, and step like this and do this. And I've just been thrilled, quite frankly, to see all of that kind of progress. And I want to see how it translates to the field. Have you seen a different Zach Wilson?
I think at times we've seen a different Zach Wilson, and when he's confident, a confident Zach Wilson is a significantly different quarterback than one who we see when he's in his head and thinking. And as you said, the no look pass, I think that he's looked a little bit more crisp. But yesterday, in particular, unfortunately, that wasn't the best Zach Wilson day. He missed a couple open passes, which was a little frustrating, but. I think he's been up and down, which is kind of par for the course at this point through his career. But I'm excited to see him in more of a game situation than a practice situation, because I think that's how we'll be really able to tell just how far along he's come.
Absolutely. By the way, guys, another injury update, so to speak. Garrett Wilson, low ankle. Robert Sala said they're going to be cautious a couple days. So the other good news, and again, Matt can speak to this, no boot on the foot. That also could be like a sign, like they could say sprained, and then they're being super cautious there. The fact that they weren't doing that, and he was basically all in the gear outside of the pads and the helmet for Garrett. So that's wildly encouraging, and thank God, because, on Twitter, there's all the oh God, he lost his leg. He's dragging his body to the other side. And I'm reading like, oh my God, what happened to my son, Garrett Wilson? And then I hear like, oh no, he's fine. And I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, thank God. So it's finally good to see some actual steps of progress here, Matt, because we lose our gosh darn minds on social media when these injuries happen at practice.
Oh, 100%. And I would be lying to you if I said that my stomach wasn't in a knot when I saw the video of the ankle. And yesterday he was walking around, he was tossing a football to himself. It looked like he was just itching to get out there and play, which is on brand for just the kind of player he is. But I'm glad that they're taking it slow. No reason to rush him back. As we've said on the show already, it's still July. Like, there's plenty of time. Let's not rush this guy back. But yeah, I'm not really all that concerned about it long term with him.
Random speculation: if the Jets bring in Cook, who's the odd man out in the backfield?
I think Michael Carter would get traded. I think it's
traded. Okay.
Yeah, I think it would be Michael Carter. It's between Carter or Bam. Obviously, they just drafted Izzy, so they're not gonna make him the odd man out. But I think they would try to flip Michael Carter for a day 3 pick. That would be my prediction.
Okay, random rant here. I know we don't have a lot of time. These are 20-minute shows, for Pete's sake. But come on, man. On social, and I'm not trying to call out Michael Nania, but I am. Like, for Jets X Factor, he actually said this. He's like, I'm not sure. I'm not confident I can say that Dalvin Cook will be better than 22-year-old Zonovan Knight this year. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me, man? Like, I get it. The analytics crowd going, well, if you look at this decline and this, but for God, can we just go and look? Oh yeah, that's Dalvin Cook, freaking 40 touchdowns and a cajillion yards, a proven guy, and this undrafted free agent, which, all due respect, I mean, Zonovan's been nice, but I mean, come on, man. He was sitting on the practice squad. There was no practice squad protections last year. Anyone could have had him for like a 10-week span, and no one did. Maybe we all miss this guy, but some of this narrative to me has been disgusting. Matt, where do you stand in all this?
Yeah, I think that's maybe a little much, and I don't consider myself like the biggest Dalvin Cook fan. I'd probably rather not go that direction, but I think that it's I think it's coming no matter what. So Nani and everyone else is going to have to get used to the idea, but also it's I get it. Adding a veteran presence, he has that experience, and you're just hoping that it doesn't fall off this year. But if he's close to what has been in his previous career, then I would say he's definitely better than Bam Knight.
Well, I just have to say this randomly. I've seen it throughout the comment section. Thank you, everyone, for always chiming in. Matt, you're a celebrity. All these people meeting you, the grandchildren, their sons, taking pictures, giving autographs. You didn't go like, talk to my publicist. Like, you didn't do any of that, Matt, while you were out there. So very commendable, young man. Very commendable.
Never. I love it. It's the best when you're able to meet the people and put a face to the name in the comment section or on Twitter and be like, oh, yes, I interact with you almost every day. I feel like I know you. Even though I don't, but yes, it was a fun day yesterday. Got to meet a lot of awesome people. It was a blast.
All right, let's give a quick promo for this before we talk about schedule prediction. Matt, speak of the devil, the name to the face, although I literally see your name literally right next to your face for the first time ever. Me, you, Jake S. I don't know if you've ever met him before, but we're all going to be in the same location in Canton, Ohio. Specifically, we're going to be meeting up on Friday night. If any Jet fans are going to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, again, whether you're listening live or after the fact, I will be there. Matt O'Leary will be there. Jake S. will be there. And some other celebs apparently are all going to be popping up at Jersey Sports Grill in the Belden location. I keep saying Belden location because there's multiple spots, so make sure you go to the right one. The Belden location, if you ask for the Jets party, apparently they'll bring you right to us. We have a reserved spot. I want to see as many of you Jet fans as possible, so guys, make sure you book it. Any additional commentary I may have missed there for this Canton Hall of Fame meetup, Matt?
I'm just so excited to get, again, to meet some more people and hang out. We were talking about it, me, you, and Jake Asman, and just saying like, this is such a good opportunity for us to do something, because Friday there's not a whole lot going on. Thursday's
No.
going to be a busy day. Saturday will be a busy day, but we want to do something Friday. So I figured it'd be a good spot. Jersey's was nice enough to give us a little spot to hang out. And, there's 4 rooms that you'll have access to. We'll have the reserved area in the outside seating in like their parking lot space. There'll be a band out there, but you could also walk around if you want to do that. It's going to be a good time.
Well, I can't wait for that. And one final note as we wrap up this Boy Green Daily, jam-packed, baby, which you love to see, is the schedule prediction contest down below. I'm in it. Matt O'Leary is in it. Guys, enter. It is free to enter. And if you win, you have a chance to win a Jets jersey of your choice. You can throwbacks, whatever you want. It's all on the table. All you have to do is follow the link down below. It's linked everywhere on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We're streaming live in all 3 places. Hit the link down below and then click the schedule prediction button that is down there and tell us who the Jets are going to beat, who they're going to lose to, and of course their final regular season record, and you will have a chance to win. You'll see 70 plus other Jet fans all in there, so you'll know you're in the right place. Enter, be there or be square, baby, and I will see Matt and hopefully all of you later this week in Canton, Ohio. I can't believe I'm saying that. Canton, freaking Ohio, baby. This is going to be amazing. I can't wait for that. Matt, it's going to be awesome, man.
Yeah, I can't wait to finally meet you, hang out a little bit, take in some New York Jets football. It's a big week for us. It's going to be big.
Yeah, and we can't wait, and we'll have a Boy Green Daily every day leading up to it, including Thursday, right before I jump in the car. Me and Matt are driving down, us crazy bastards. So we'll see you guys when we see you, and that includes tomorrow morning at 7:30. Thanks, everybody. Take care.